Barry, as we traveled the state, and I suspect Representative Hausman did also last year and during our bonding trips, I think I sensed at least that we're looking at a decade or two ahead of us now, a lot of conversation about water quality. We saw city after city with aged infrastructure from the standpoint of wastewater handling and so on and so forth, treatment, and we're going to, I think, and many of these cities just don't have the resources financially to take care of that themselves. And I think a goodly part of bonding bills for a good number of years ahead is going to be directed towards wastewater infrastructure. It's just, we've seen, I mean, it's crumbling. It's not effective. It's crumbling. In some cases, it's absent. We've seen tubes, cameras going through what used to be sewer lines. The sewer line's gone, and all it is the molded clay that used to be around the sewer line. So that's where we are in some of our cities, and we need to take care of that.
And for a number of years, we've been aggressively dealing with wastewater infrastructure through the Public Facilities Authority. But I think what's going to be new this year is the governor is also interested in helping with drinking water infrastructure. That's going to put pressure on our bonding bill, and I think we've got to be willing to spend a little more money in that bill. I always quote, it's Arne Carlson was the first governor to sign $1 billion bonding bill. If we just factored in inflation, if we want to be doing the same for infrastructure as he was doing back then, the size of our bonding bills should be $1.45 billion now in a biennium, and we still are stuck at that $1 billion psychological barrier. And so in all of these areas, we are falling behind, whether it's transportation or wastewater infrastructure, and even all of our higher ed campuses are feeling that, the smart classrooms and laboratories they want. So I think as a state, we have to take a hard look at that infrastructure if those local communities do need help, to be a little more aggressive and willing to invest in a greater way at the state level.
It's made more complicated in the so-called old days when much of what we have was built. There were federal subsidies to help that along.
In a whole number of areas.
They are gone.
And I believe that's what bonding should be used for, is for infrastructure. So I support things like that. The roads and bridges out in greater Minnesota, some of those things. My concern when it comes to bonding is that we tend to have so much more that's added on to it. Right now, our service to our debt of current bonding is at, I believe, about $775 million annually, almost as much as the bonding bill that we're looking at this year. So when we increase it up into those higher numbers, 1.4, 1.5, any money that we use, I want to make sure that has a long-term infrastructure return on it. But also understanding that when we start going, right now, if we go above $800 million on this time, that 775 debt is going to go up higher than that, up to 780 and things like that. And we can't just keep doing that.
And the good news is we have debt capacity guidelines that we stick to religiously. We take a look at them every year. We do not go over them. No matter which party's in control, they respect those debt capacity guidelines. They were put in place, the most recent ones, by Governor Pawlenty. And so when rating agencies look at us, they all that is never an issue for them. They always say Minnesota has low to moderate debt levels compared to other states. So to the issue of what we put in, we are a changing state. And yes, we've been doing roads and bridges for a long time, but even the business community, the Minnesota Chamber, this year finally has come on board to say we need roads and bridges and transit. They know to pull in the millennials, to attract them here and to keep them here. That's the workforce we need. They're looking for transportation alternatives, so our bonding bill needs to look different there. But it also needs to look different from the perspective of what drives the economy in some of those local areas that are changing. Those cities have told us our economy used to be built around the family farm. Family farms are disappearing. Our economy used to be built around Main Street businesses. The big box store outside of town has closed up a lot of those businesses. So the creative towns that are going to make it, towns like Lanesboro and Chatfield, and I could go on, they look at the assets they have and say, how do we invest in assets that bring people here? And interestingly, they turn to things that critics of bonding have sometimes called wants, not needs, and that's arts and culture, parks and trails, museums, historic sites. What are the assets that they have that they can build on that will bring people to their town? And there is wonderful creative work in some of those towns. And those towns that are rethinking their economy and how they develop, I think, are the towns that are going to make it.
Senator Marty, bonding bill, what do you think?
Well, I'll say that the governor's water stuff was about 4 times. I think it's $220 million total. Well, 4 times what we've had in the past. And David, you're right. Those small communities, they just can't afford it. And so his thing is providing a lot of grants to them through that. So I think that'll help. But on the second part of what Alice was saying with the trails, I know a couple of years ago, having by the Paul Bunyan Trail, folks were coming in, if we could only get this through our town here, it would be tremendous for the boost. Just south of your district, David, I think in Lanesboro area, those trails are huge for tourism and so on. And I think near Bemidji and so on, it's been a big plus. So I think there's hope that some of those things can happen. I also think that the broadband issue, when I'm looking at economic development around the state, I think broadband in a lot of parts of the state, our community, yours, it's not a problem, but some of the small towns, businesses that could thrive anywhere with new technology. They don't have to be in a city. They can be in small towns around the state, but the broadband and high-speed internet access is a huge stumbling block for them, I think. And I hope we can put some of that in the bill, too.
Bonding, anybody else have anything else to offer on that? We'll move on.